It's definitely not, because there's so many people waking up every single day because of your documentaries, because of our work as well, that we're not going to stand for it. It's not going to work. And the more we expose it, the less likelihood of them doing it is going to happen. So we have to fight for our freedoms. Remember 9/11. We're going to be out there this year on the 9th anniversary, building towards the 10th anniversary of 9/11, standing at ground zero with thousands of protesters demanding truth and accountability from our government, exposing the lies, exposing the secret societies that rule in secret, and working together for a better tomorrow. And we all have to come together. We all have to hold screenings in our local communities of your documentaries. We did one here of Invisible Empire this Saturday, and it packed the house. And we're doing another one here in New York City with Police State 4 at 56 Walker Street this Saturday to educate the New York City residents and community here about the police state that's slowly destroying our country.
And again, if people just take my films, and if they just make copies of them, and if they just hold public viewings, it'll pack out. I mean, you build it, they will come. I mean, Luke, look at you 3-4 years ago getting involved. Well, you founded We Are Change 2.5-3 years ago. And look at the effect you've had. Everyone can do that if they have the truth and have the passion. If folks go up to Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com, they can watch the Stephen Colbert video in full. You can also go to wearechange.org, wearechange.org. When we come back, we're going to play some excerpts of Luke's talk with Stephen Colbert and then Colbert's live response once he went on television. We'll be right back with Luke-Rudowski. Then coming up, the false flag nuke attack. It's in the pike. They're going to try to blame it on the American people. Everybody knows, ladies and gentlemen, the dice are loaded.
Everybody knows that the dice are loaded. Everybody rolls with their fingers crossed. Everybody knows
the war is over.
The war is over.
The good guys lost.
Everybody knows.
But if we can identify the New World Order, we can defeat them and bring them down. Okay, so Luke's girlfriend started taping this about halfway in. This is him warming up the studio audience. He has a discussion with him. Colbert thinks he's talking about Bohemian Grove, which he has covered before, making fun of the Republicans running around naked having gay sex, which is what they do. That's how crazy our elites are. Generally the Republicans like men at the leadership levels and the Democrats like women. That's not a total rule like with Barney Frank, but it's very strange. But this is separate. This is an elite political meeting. Bilderberg. Here it is.
Sonia Sotomayor, the wise Latina herself, complained that she wasn't allowed to be in last year. Yeah.
That's the Bohemian Grove.
You remember? Can you get me in?
I'm actually a journalist. I get death threats for covering it.
You get death threats?
Yes.
Do you have letters or anything?
The mainstream media...
Do you have letters?
I have phone calls.
You have phone calls?
Yeah.
You have tapes? You have your recordings of these phone calls?
I record some of them, yes.
What do they say?
What do you think they're going to say?
Secret organization. And we will remain secret by killing a journalist. Why would they kill a journalist?
We actually confront Bilderberg members like Bill Clinton, the IMF head, the World Bank head. We actually confront them on video cameras, and we tell them, what do you do at these meetings? And they run away. Like, we have everything on video. And it's the world's elite.
That's why. If I was a billionaire at one of these meetings, I'd just be naked all the time. They worship a big stone owl or
That's
something,
the Bohemian Grove. The Bilderberg group is different than the Bohemian Grove. The Bilderberg group is more secret. It's not a little vacation. Okay. It's the one...
Tranquilize him and get him out the back door. And the electrode's waiting.
Now, we weren't allowed to film, so I'm sorry for the video quality, but we had to clandestinely film in the middle of our conversation. But, you know, after the conversation I had with Stephen, he goes and sits down and he does his news segment. And in the middle of his news segment, he just goes off and says,
Everybody, thank you for joining us. I just want to thank you for the welcome you just gave me. And I just want to say that anybody out there watching, that if you're in the secret Bilderberg group... assassinate freelance reporters. It's just not nice, guys. It's not nice. And please, call me. Call me. You owe me one, buddy. Okay.
He seems like a pretty nice guy, doesn't he?
Very good guy, and he mentioned, you know, Skull and Bones and the Bohemian Grove before on his show. So I think just anybody going out there, anybody could do it. You just have to go out there, talk to these people like they're human beings, and having that conversation, having that dialogue, and not being afraid to speak truth is so important. And it just shows that anybody can do this. The power we have to reach out to millions is within you, and we can do anything, and nothing is impossible.
And importantly, We Are Change, and myself going back over more than a decade, I always am nice. Like when I asked George Bush a question, he had me arrested when he was governor at a press conference. I was very polite until they started grabbing me and dragging me out, and I was still polite so they wouldn't have an excuse to beat me up. But like with Al Gore, when Chicago We Are Change, they were nice at first, and then when they started dragging them out, then they got the info out and were loud. And so it's just very important. It's like karl-rove is going to be at UT tonight. In fact, I'll pull that out and read it again before the show ends. Here it is. He's going to be at UT, 7 o'clock tonight. It's open and free to the public. The Patriots, the listeners, should all get down there about 5:30, 6 o'clock or so. Have your little flip phones hidden, flip cameras, and then videotape it. And then be near the two center aisles there in the area they're having it, and get up first to the mic, because he'll probably take questions toward the end. Now, they may do the written questions because he's somewhat of a coward, but not too much of a coward. I mean, at least he goes to these events. And then you may have to shout some things out, and that's your choice, as I did to Janet Reno in the same hall. But that's at UT tonight, karl-rove. How important is it for folks to get out there and confront these people, Luke-Rudowski?
It is the most single important thing somebody could do, because you not only send them a message that we as the people are waking up, we know, and we won't tolerate this, but also showing the world how these people are not as powerful as they seem. They're not as strong, because when you come up to them, when you talk to them, when you look them in their eyes, and you tell them about their crimes and their wrongs that they committed against the people, they cower, they run away. It's like cockroaches running away when you turn on the light. And I'm telling you, we confronted karl-rove before, and we were very nice to him in the beginning. But as soon as you ignore me and don't want to answer questions about how he met with the financer of Osama bin Laden before and after President Bush's election, we're going to go after you. And that's what we did in our YouTube video that's gotten, thousands and thousands of hits on YouTube. When we
Look, stay there. Let's finish up on the other side. Also, up on Infowars.com, we've got some key info.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
You know, I'm pretty good friends with Jesse Ventura, and I never even call him. Generally, he ends up calling up asking how I'm doing, or his crew does. I'm going to be a consultant on his second season of Conspiracy Theory, and also I'm going to appear in more episodes. And I need to reach out to these people because I get so busy, years just flash by. It happens to everybody. Willie Nelson, I haven't talked to Willie probably in about a year on the phone. He called me about, 2.5 years ago. They said, Willie Nelson's calling here at the office. He lives here in Austin. And I'd met him once at one of my film screenings. Here comes Willie Nelson walking up. And I said, I'd like to interview you sometime. And he said, yeah, sometime we'll do that. And I just gave him my number. And then about 6 months later, he called me. That was at an in-game screening. That's how long ago that was. And then, of course, he came on the show and went public for 9/11 Truth. I didn't even intend for him to do that. But I guess that's why he wanted to come on. Well, he was on Larry King Friday night. I just learned this. It's up on prisonplanet.com. And I want to play this after Luke leaves, because Larry King says, well, the buildings fell because they were hit by a jet. And Willie had just said Building 7 wasn't hit by a jet. And the government now admits it did fall at free fall. You can see the blast points. It's so incredible, folks. I mean, they blew up Oklahoma City. The former head of Air Force Weapons Development went there. There were columns further back in the building blown out with blast points on them, and Parton went over and showed from the photos the perfect blast points. I mean, it had demolition blast points on it. And they used Controlled Demolition Incorporated to come in and destroy the wreckage and haul it off under guard. And the same thing was done with the wreckage of 9/11. Going back to Luke-Rudowski, folks, if we let them kill Kennedy in broad daylight in front of us, if we let them carry out 9/11 in broad daylight in front of us, this private global corporate group that runs our country, they're going to steal our pension funds. Now they're saying that's what they want to do. I read documents 6 years ago where they were getting ready to do it. Now they're saying they're getting ready to do it. They're not going to give us any quarter. They're not going to back off until we finally grow up and admit just how evil this elite is. Luke-Rudowski.
I mean, the future that we want for this country and for ourselves and for our lives is in our hands. There's nothing stopping us but ourselves. So we have to believe in ourselves. We have to fight for ourselves. Holding little community town hall meetings like we do here in New York City every Saturday is very critical, reaching out to the community. We're also raising food for the homeless. We're going to be feeding the homeless. So anybody coming to the premiere of Police State 4 this Saturday, please bring food here in New York City. It's about being the change that you want to see in this world and actually doing it. Not just talking about it, but doing it and playing an active role in your community and just going out there and living life. This is what life's about, doing the right thing. Not about being evil, not about trying to start eugenics and kill people. You know, we have to literally wake up and do the right thing, and there should be nothing stopping you. There is no fear. There is no hate. There is no anger. There's only love. There's only consciousness, humanity, and dignity that we should look forward to and move forward with.